Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jeff. Today I'm doing a video to talk about why I dropped out of college with just 2 classes remaining. Uh, it's a postgraduate degree in cybersecurity policy. I have 2 classes remaining, both of those are the capstone. So, some of you are going to say, wow, you're a quitter. You gave up at the very end. It's like kind of like climbing Mount Everest, getting very close to the end, and then saying, I'm just going to come back down, right? Now, granted, I could go back to school and finish the 2 classes, but I've already made this decision to stop either now, drop out, or maybe not continue, or maybe do continue. But I think more than anything, I wanted to address kind of a more serious issue in the country, or in America more than anything, and that's the value of a degree. So one of the reasons why I stopped was because it was having an adverse effect on my health. The same time I had a 17-page research paper, I was also working a lot overtime as a business owner. And if you are a business owner, you really never get a day off, but you have more flexibility. But at the same time, if you want things to function a certain way, you're more hands-on with it. So I was going to college as a, kind of like just a backup plan in case this didn't work out with my business. It's always there. I'll have this degree in a relevant field, cybersecurity. It's up and coming. But is it really that valuable to have a degree? So as I went through the degree program, I felt as though, I was getting A's, okay? My last class I got a C because I was so burned out I didn't put forth the best effort on my final research paper, and he gave me just an atrocious grade, which not only demoralized me from wanting to continue, which I think had I gotten a better grade I probably would have wanted to keep going, but regardless, it was still a very long research paper, and I put in a lot of time, and I got a not so good grade. So a little bit of sour attitude, right? But at the end of the day, all the stress that they were putting me through, is it going to be worth it for me? Not just, are people going to want to hire me, but am I getting real value from it, right? And that was what I really started to question, was whether or not the American degree or the education system is giving people real value for what they're paying. As you probably have heard the statistics, Americans owe $1.3 trillion in student loan debt spread out among the 44 million borrowers. That's an average of $37,000 just in student loan debt. And here's the truth. I know a lot of people who have college degrees who are not working in that particular field. So I think, I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with the elders in our generation in this particular era. I guess you would call them the baby boomers, because they've decided that it's better to bury 20-year-olds. I'm a 34-year-old now, but my point is, the average student is getting out of college with $37,000 in debt because they're following the baby boomers' plan of get an education. Well, that plan works great if you get the education and then you get out and you can find an adequate paying job, right? Not just a job that pays $15 an hour, because if you got $37,000 in debt, $15 to $20 an hour is not going to really pay that down, because you're going to be living under this cloud. So the baby boomer generation has allowed this to happen, and my bone to pick with it is the value that's added to your life and your career by getting that degree that the elders are telling the youth to go out and do. So it became more of a rack, and it became so corrupt that they didn't provide quality education. So the education has gone down. The relevance of the education, the piece of paper is no longer worth anything. I know people who have taken their degree and burned it because they were like, why did I do this? And why did they do that? Because the elders said, do it. Because they're the elders. We'll listen to the elders. When I'm an elder, people will listen to me just as they'll listen to my peers and people in my generation, because we're the ones with the wisdom and the knowledge from that generation. So why have the baby boomers let down the millennials and this crowd by misguiding them? Not just in, they'd say, well, oh yeah, well the millennials want a trophy every time they just show up and compete. Okay, see, I mean that's relevant too, because you don't need a trophy just for showing up, right? You don't need the coolest baseball bat award and everyone gets a trophy kind of thing because no one wants to be left out. That that's tough love, but not everybody gets a trophy if you lose, right? That's life. But I think the main concern that I have is $37,000 in student loan debt and the prospects of getting an adequate paying job with a degree. That's an issue. So I drop out because realistically, whether I complete it or not, that's not going to enrich me at all. Like I said, I already went through the whole curriculum all the way up until the last 2 classes, and I feel like I didn't really learn the meat and potatoes of what I needed to learn. They didn't talk about coding, PHP, computer science. There was no classes on that. Granted, it's cybersecurity policy engineering, so you're engineering policy, but how are you going to engineer a policy if you don't know the intricacies of the computer world, the internet? Because I work on the internet, I at least know enough, and just knowing that small amount that I know, and having dealt with all types of different hacking things that have happened. I've had websites, some of you have had websites, have had them hacked. You know what it takes. You have to block IPs and different things like that, and that there's various different encryptions that can protect your website. But they didn't even really go into any of that in that class. So if someone is just like, who's never been in my shoes to actually work in the back end of it, they're gonna be the ultimate bureaucrat, and the ultimate bureaucrat in the sense that they're just gonna be passing around orders for the security policy without actually knowing what they're talking about or what goes into an encryption or coding something or what have you. And to me, that's a disservice to the student. Okay, so this isn't just happening in the cybersecurity realm or in the tech realm. It's happening all over. So these colleges are collecting large amounts of money, and for what? To give you, to stress you out, run you through the ringer. I mean, it was so bad that I actually typed in, I'm just telling you my personal life. I literally typed in, is college bad for your health? That's how that's how much stress it put on me. And I know that it puts stress on people because I've even heard 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds back a long time ago, and even today say, I'm so stressed out because of this. You could say, well, that's part of life. You need to be stressed out. You need to be used to it. But if you're also working full-time and trying to go to college, I don't really think it's instilling a great work ethic, because work ethic kind of comes from passion, in my opinion. If you're passionate about something, you're going to be a hard worker at it. To say that it's ingrained in you because you're going to college and getting bombarded with basically redundant homework tasks. Most of it was redundancy, just rewriting, just because they have to fill their quota to be accredited. It's kind of like, do this assignment, but talk about something new, kind of like that. But it's like over and over and over and over, and you're like, I just kind of did this in the last class, but okay, we'll revisit this in this class just because we'll play the game. And to me, that was what was disenfranchising also, because it's like, how lazy is the person who's putting together these curriculums to be so redundant? And because they were so redundant, I'm paying a lot of money, or people are paying a lot of money to go to these institutions, and they're walking away with short-ended, but the institution makes a ton of money. And then when they get into the career field, the job force, they're told that their degree is not going to qualify them, because what do they want? They want the experience. Okay, And a lot of you, if you think I'm kidding, go look at some of the jobs out there. They care more about the experience, and then if you actually talk to people, they care. They don't ever. A lot of people don't even ask if you've had a degree. I don't think in my entire adult life I've ever been asked if I have my degree, which I do have a bachelor's degree, but no one's ever asked me that when I was applying for a job, at an interview or anything. They did ask me in my application to put that, but they never really went into it. They never said, well, what was your GPA or anything like that. So I'm saying, how come the elders in this generation put such an emphasis on it to let so many down? And that's part of the reason why I'm dropping out, is because it's more of a rack than it is a real deal, but it's also a real huge problem for our society, because you're burying your youth with $37,000 in debt that's got interest on it. So not only can they not find a job that can help pay it down, but they're also being charged interest on this debt. So they're being buried alive right at the time when they, what the heck? Does anyone else see this? I mean, it's out of control. The institutions have committed something that should be really reviewed. I mean, you've bailed out all these businesses, but what are you going to do about all these kids that got student loan debt that they can't pay off? That's really, okay, I would say, part of it is a work ethic thing. So you say, well, you can't just let them off the hook, because what lesson is that going to teach them? But at the same time, if they already got a degree and you tried to teach them lessons through your curriculums and that still didn't work, then that's failed already. So your whole idea of thinking that it's well, if we let them off the hook, it's gonna set a bad habit or whatever. No. I mean, truth is, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be corny, but you motivate and inspire people with love, whether it be tough love or love, but not by trying to punish them or teach them, in an abusive way, by burying them in financial burden, in a financial hole. I mean, that's what it is. It's abuse. Someone got really wealthy, these not-for-profit or these for-profit institutions, whatever they are, got really wealthy on not just the government's financial aid rack, but student loans. So something needs to be done. Something does need to be done. And I'm not complaining about the price as much as the investment. I'm complaining about the ROI, the return on investment. So if you pay $50,000 to go to college, it should be able to return on investment for you. And if majority of people are getting degrees and they're not working in that career field that they got their degree, then it's not a good ROI for anybody. And I think that's what the numbers say more than anything, is that the piece of paper is not adequate enough. So they need to really modernize our education system. Stop trying to just collect a quick buck and take a look at what's really happening. You're burying your youth. I'm 34, okay? I'm not 21, but I see 21-year-old kids out there that are lost. And someone will say to me, they'll say, I'm going to go to college. And I say, I want to say the stereotypical cliche comment, well, go to college, get your butt in college, that I want to say that, right? But I'm like, knowing what I know about college, I'm like, hold on. What are you going to go to college for, number one? What do you hope to achieve with college? Because yeah, for medical, if you're going to college for medical, that can be a great investment. If you're going to college for engineering, it can be a great investment, right? Because those are in demand career fields. If you're going to college for legal, that's good. But not everybody should be trying to go to college, really. And if it's a matter of, educating the masses, okay, that's a social science matter. But anyway, share your thoughts on this. I just don't feel like the colleges are providing the hearty, healthy return on investment, really. I mean, at the very least, if I can't find a job with the degree, at least enrich me as a person, and enrich my mind, inspire me in other ways. And I just didn't feel inspired or enriched by the curriculum that I just went through.
Thanks.